Hello and welcome to another video from the only source of information that you need to not only survive the current apocalypse but actually enjoy it. And today I'm going to be talking about the assassination attempt that was made on Donald Trump. And the reason for this is one of my subscribers asked about it, which means probably other people are curious, but a lot of people never leave comments, so you don't know what they're thinking. But it just seems like a good subject to talk about. It's been a while. People don't, probably for the most part, don't care anymore. But in fact, Carlos told me, just forget about it and go on to something else. But I was writing a script, and it's like 85 degrees right now, which is relatively cool for this part of the country. But in a couple of hours, it's going to be 97, and I sweat profusely. So the possibility of me typing a script about anything is zero, because when your sweat is dripping off of your hands onto your keyboard, your fingers are sliding around. Sweat is a lot slipperier than just plain water, and I don't like getting sweat all over my laptop anyway. But I guess there's a lot of conspiracy theories going around about this, but the news says that some young guy with a piece of junk gun took a few shots at Trump, and it wasn't just the one shot that hit his ear. I don't know if you know that, but they've done a forensic rebuild of the scene with computer-generated images, and I think they shot 8 bullets at him, and all 8 missed him by inches. One didn't miss him. But the first theory I heard, like the day that it happened, somebody was going around a college campus interviewing people and asking them what they thought about the assassination attempt, and people were all saying, well, it was just orchestrated by Trump. He did that because he wanted more votes. But the theory, the problem with that theory is if Trump hired that guy to shoot at him, chances are he was gonna get shot. No matter, even if the guy is just shooting around him. I mean, with the gun he had, there's no way that he was going to be able to shoot his ear and guarantee that he wasn't going to shoot him right between the eyes, because that's about as accurate as that gun can be. At that distance, you're going to be in and I'm not just saying this because I saw some YouTube video. I shoot guns, and with a really accurate gun at that distance, you could get in a circle about that big. But with what do they call them, AR-14s? That's a junky gun. Well, the Colt makes one that's a pretty good gun, but there's 100 people making AR-15s that are not Colts, and they're not that good. And I'm pretty sure the gun that he was using, they said, was like a knockoff. So it's, that's how close he could get. You don't say, hey, I'll give you $1 million to shoot me in the ear. Another reason that theory doesn't hold water is Donald Trump had like 90% of the vote before he got shot in the ear. So what's he got now? Like 91% of the vote? I know there's a bunch of polls being taken that show Kamala Harris is in the lead. That's insanity. People can be pretty unreasonable, but that woman's she doesn't impress me as the kind of person I would want to put in charge of anything, unless I was a crook and I wanted somebody crooked to be in charge of some crooked operation I was trying to pull off. But I don't know, she's just really wacky. If you watch her on the networks that support her, she sounds wacky. I'm not just saying that she's wacky in all the little snippets that the Republicans post. She really is wacky, and everybody pretty much. I know people who are Democrats who have said they don't know what to do because they can't vote for her. So anyway, getting back to, but the polls are just as fake as the news. If you watch the news, even if you agree with the regular networks, MSNBC, or if you agree with Fox, you've got to know that those two networks always say the opposite thing from one another. So at least somebody has to be lying. But the thing is that if you just go out and you're talking to people on the street, you're going to figure out pretty quick that, like, almost everybody is voting for Trump. There are people that have that TDS, Trump derangements, symptoms. But those people are kind of in the minority. And really, this is the first election in history where you have two choices. Vote for Trump or don't vote for Trump. Because that's all this is based on. The entire election is based on, do you love Trump or do you hate Trump? Nobody's voting based on what are the issues of each side, because Trump has all these things that he's covered in his speeches about what he's going to do for the economy. The Democrats don't seem to be addressing any of that. When they say anything about what they're going to do, it's just weird. They're talking about weird stuff that nobody cares about. I don't know how the networks can get away with this false poll stuff. It just makes no sense. Okay, I'm getting off subject. The fact is that there's no way that Donald Trump would pay somebody. He wouldn't pay a professional sniper to take that shot, much less some kid look retarded, like just a retarded kid. I know he wasn't. He got through high school and all, but he really, you could tell just by looking at him that there was something wrong with this guy. Obviously, because he climbed on a roof and took a shot at a politician. Who does that? But the next theory is that the Democrats orchestrated this. They hired the worst security in the world, and then they hired this kid, and that doesn't make much sense either. I just first off, a true Democrat or a true Republican has not done anything in the last 100 years. They're handed scripts, they put on a show, they don't make any decisions, they supposedly vote, but they pretty much are told how to vote. And the evidence is in that every politician, major congressman, president, vice president, we know as the people, it's a matter of public record how much these people are paid. And when they go into office, like I think they said something like the Obamas had $1 million in the bank when they became the president and first lady. And when they left office, they had like 100 million. Most of the presidents, congressmen, they do that. They only make a certain amount of money. You know how much they make, and they get out of office with exponentially more than what their salaries would allow. So you know that they're all on the take. Now, some of them have spouses that work, and you could factor that in, but even still, I think it's pretty obvious to most rational people that Democrats and Republicans don't really believe in the nonsense they talk. They pretty much just do whatever they're told. Now, there is another organization that is far more powerful than any congressman or any president, probably much more powerful than all of Congress and the president combined, and that is what they call the deep state. And the deep state is just people who stand to profit immensely by the decisions that are made in Congress. So, when business is down, the military, what do they call it, whatever the guys are that sell weapons, will pay Congress to start a war with somebody. And they'll even make up an excuse that makes no sense, and the American public will go, oh my God, we've got to go to war. And I don't know how these people are that stupid, but the fact is, These people that sell bullets are actually the ones that make the decisions about U.S. government policy in foreign lands. And so those people may have had some kind of reason. I've always said you've got two political parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, because they're the same. They've never actually been two parties. This one says what they're going to do, this one says what they're going to do. They get in office, they do something completely different because they have to do what they're told to do. And we're not in that situation now. These people are really like fighting, like somebody is not doing what the deep state is telling them to, and it seems as if that person is Donald Trump. I mean, the last time he went on the public record as saying the deep state was constantly doing things to destroy his policies. So it's possible that the deep state did actually have some involvement in this situation. Now, yeah, the deep state might have been involved in this. To me, my personal opinion, which isn't any more valid than anybody else's, is that everybody knows that assassins are out there and they want to kill Donald Trump. You hear it all the time. And, I mean, if you go on YouTube, there's a lot of, or not just YouTube, in fact, probably not YouTube, but if you go to some of these overseas video hosting sites, you'll see plenty of people talking about killing Donald Trump. Back when he ran the first time and people were like, Donald Trump's going to fix the economy, and I said, look, if Donald Trump really is planning on doing that, snipers will take him out, CIA or whoever. But, and I'm not the only one. Tucker Carlson said, look, they use the legal system to try to sue him. They try to take his property. They tried to put him in jail, and none of that worked. He said they are going to kill him. That's the only thing left to do. They can't stop him any other way. Although I did hear today that if he wins, Congress is going to reject him, according to some legal precedent that says they can. So there are other ways that they still may try to get rid of him, but assassination does seem like the next logical step. Now, as far as this last assassination attempt goes, I think it's altogether possible that the people who were chosen as Donald Trump's security were inferior in some way. Like whoever the powers that be who determine who gets assigned to him picked the worst of the worst. Because it's a lot of the stuff that was going on there just didn't look right. And I guess it looked perfectly all right when I first saw it, but afterwards, professionals in that field were talking about it on these videos, and they said, this is not a security team. This could never happen. So there is the possibility that he was assigned a crappy security team because they knew someone was going to take a shot, and they were hoping that whoever attempted it would be able to shoot better than this last guy that attempted it. So, what do we need to understand about this assassination attempt? Currently, Donald Trump is the single most recognizable human on the planet. You can go anywhere in the world and so show somebody a picture of him and they go, oh, Donald Trump. How many Americans know who the king of Ethiopia is, but everybody in Ethiopia knows who the king of America is. I really believe, and there are things that have to happen before Jesus can return. He listed them. There'd be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. The man of lawlessness or the man of iniquity would take his position, the person that we call the Antichrist. There will be a revolt against the standard way that civilization works. And those things are starting to take place in a really weird way. And I believe all this stuff that's going on is leading up to that. So, knowing that Donald Trump is as famous as he is, and watching all of the different steps that have been taken to keep him from running for president, I really believe that the guy is a key to starting that stuff. He has to be doing what he's doing in order for this World War III to begin. I've got some theories about that may or may not take place, but assassination may be one of them. If somebody actually assassinated Donald Trump, whether now or after he's elected, the Republicans would revolt. There's no doubt about it. If he's not allowed to, if he loses the election, the Republicans will vote. Because even though last time I feel like it was pretty obvious that he won the election and it was stolen from him, that's still just an opinion. But currently, if you look at his rallies and you look at the Democrats' rallies, it's really obvious that Donald Trump is going to win the election no matter what happens. So if they say he didn't win the election, there's going to be a war, civil war, and the rest of the world will follow suit. And in fact, they're already doing the same things we're doing. There are revolts and wars breaking out all over the world as we speak in unprecedented numbers. Unprecedented numbers. So we're headed that way. Donald Trump is going to be the catalyst for this somehow. Whether it's because he gets elected, because the Democrats are saying he's the next Hitler. So if that's true, then, I've watched a lot of Donald Trump stuff, and, the guy is really reasonable. He sounds like just a really good guy that wants to be loved by everybody. He wants to help everybody. But if you go back and listen to Adolf Hitler's pre-election speeches, he's waving his hand and he's going, German, 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 saying German words and screaming and pounding his fist. But they have on YouTube, you can go watch some of his speeches. He's a brilliant man, and he talked kind of like Donald Trump. He's very kind, very loving, very much wanted to help his country. Because we don't speak German, it sounds like he's screaming, kill everyone, put them all in but it's not. He was talking about what he's going to do for the economy and, make Germany great again, all of that stuff. So, yeah, I guess it's possible that Donald Trump could just win the election and become a Hitler and start wars. But, Hitler wasn't like the president of Germany for 4 years, and then he ran again. Donald Trump was. He was the president of the United States, and under his administration, things were getting fixed, it seems like. Everybody I know who talks about politics is saying, man, when Donald Trump was alive, groceries were so much easier to purchase, and, I didn't have to work so hard, and my kids were able to get education, and now, it's not like that. So there is a easy to see difference between when he was president before and what's been done since then. I don't think you should expect him to do something different this time. People in general just follow a pattern, and his pattern is just to be a semi-decent politician. But the fact is, no matter who's the president, the Bible clearly states at 1 John chapter 5 and verse 19 that Satan is the ruler of the world. At James 4:4, 2 Corinthians 4:4, it says, you have to know that if you're friends with civilization, you're an enemy of God. And another one is that there's a lot of scriptures throughout the Bible that say that Satan rules the world. And if you believe in the Bible, you have to believe that Satan rules the world. So who does he use to rule the world? Who rules the world? The politicians. So it doesn't matter who gets elected. Doesn't matter who gets assassinated. Even though these are signs that something's up and we can expect things to get much worse, Satan has always been in charge. He's still in charge. He will remain in charge until Jesus returns and replaces him as ruler of the world. There's no reason to worry about who gets elected, who gets assassinated. We have a king that's going to replace all of them. And it's going to be good. Whoever's king now, it's not good. Who's going to be king after the election? Things will not be good. The Bible does describe a time when Satan takes over and fixes everything. So it's possible that Donald Trump is that guy. I don't think he is, but it's possible. All right, I guess that's it. That's my opinion. Not a scripted video. I hope this video sounds as well done as the one I just posted this morning. Love y'all. Bye-bye. And if you don't want to survive, don't listen to me.